David goes, you will cut me off again like you do with your callers just 2 days ago. When have I cut off my callers? Which caller have specifically I cut off? Name names, David. I am very liberal with my callers. I am probably too liberal, according to my liberal listeners, with my conservative callers, with allowing them time to, call in and speak than they would like me to, but I still let them do it. I still let them call in. And I'm not actually the one that muted you from the chat. That was one of my mods because y'all, the combination of y'all were being ridiculous. And I'm not going to override what my mods do because I trust them to make the right decisions for the chat. But the phone lines are open. And it is 2:50 and 12 seconds. 8:50 and 12 seconds my time, Central Time. I've opened the phone lines. I am giving you, David, the opportunity to prove me wrong. Call in. Call in. See if I cut you off. I mean, I will cut you off if you say, like, racial slurs. I will cut you off if you say things that are, racist, bigoted, antisemitic or whatever. Like if you start talking about how my religion controls the media and my religion controls the banking and all that other stuff. If you say deplorable things like that, I might very well cut you off. But if you simply state your political opinion that is in disagreement with me, I will give you your opportunity to do just that, to call in and see if I will A, yell at you, and B, cut you off. You have the perfect opportunity to prove your argument correct, to prove the argument correct that I cut people off. And I'm going to ask Big Hook right now, don't call in yet. This is an open invitation. I mean, Atrocious Every Game over on Twitch says, no racial slurs, no Nazi salutes, no inciting violence, no flinging your poop at the wall. Other than that, you're probably fine. I mean, if you want to fling poop on your own wall, that's fine. I mean, you're not here in my studio. So, I mean, fling poop at your own wall all you want. You can throw ketchup at the wall too, just like your hero Donald Trump did. But 250 kilo, maybe he was too drunk to remember which show he got cut off of. Maybe. I don't know. I can't speak to whether or not David over there is imbibing or taking some other stuff. But, I've unblocked the, I usually during the non-show times, I have my number on Do Not Disturb, so, I don't get calls at all times of the day and have my phone wake me up because people want to harass the Liberal Dan Radio official phone lines of 562-LIBDAN1, 562-LIBDAN1, 562-542-3261 is the phone number. And you have every opportunity right now, David, to call in. And I'm right now I'm opening it up. I really prefer to be conservatives, specifically David, to call in. Because I want to show that you're wrong. That as long as you are willing to have a civil conversation about the issues, that I will not hang up on you. I will, eventually, if you try and filibuster for a whole 3 hours, then I might mute you for a second so that other people, so I can get a word in edgewise. I do eventually have to go to sleep. So eventually I'll have to end the show at some point. So there are points of reasonableness that I will insist on. But I'll give you at least 5 minutes to say whatever it is that you want. I won't interrupt you. I'll mute myself. I'll turn off my camera. As long as you promise not to say anything that's going to be racist, sexist, etc. Come on. Call. David says, talk, I hear you, but I don't hear you. I don't hear you calling in. I don't hear you attempting to prove me wrong by saying that I will cut you off. You said that I will yell at you. I won't even yell at you. I mean, if you start yelling at me first, maybe I might yell back, but I'm not going to start the yelling. I'll even talk to you with my NPR voice. I'll be like, hi, welcome to Liberal Dan Radio, talk from the left, that's right. Just like I was doing when I evacuated for Hurricane Ida and would put my wife completely to sleep. And I'm insisting fully that the reason my wife that was behind me at the time was going completely to sleep was because of the dulcet tones of my NPR voice and not because of the content of the show, although sometimes she does get bored with politics. So I'm responding to you. Sure. Says, you seem to respond to me. I am responding to you. But you've made assertions against my character, against the type of show that this is. You say that I'm the type of show that doesn't allow conservatives to talk, doesn't allow conservatives to have their say, and the evidence completely shows. I gave you a link to the show in the chat where I had a whole show where I had a conversation with Gibson Media. There are other shows that I've had where I've talked with other conservatives. There's a guy who's in charge, I think, of the Texas bail bonds thing, or maybe he's just head of the entire bail bonds thing. I've had this guy on my show twice, and we've discussed the issues, and I've given him full opportunity to have my say. In fact, when I had him on once, his agent, I guess, contacted me again and was like, hey, would you like to have him back on the show again? And I said, sure. So we had him on the show again. Now, if I treated my conservative guests unfairly, why would his agent call me back up and say, would you have him back on your show? If I was rude, inconsiderate, or somehow vile towards this individual, why would his agent ask for him to come back on the show? They wouldn't. They'd go find another show where he might be treated more fairly. Or maybe he realized that I am a show that will treat his conservative guests fairly. I am a show that will allow conservatives to make their points. That's 8:56 and 25 seconds. So 6 minutes have passed since, give or take a few seconds, since I've opened the invitation. I do a lot of talking. Yes, I do. But did you hear when Big Hook called in? Big Hook and I agree on a lot of issues. We disagree a little bit, but not a lot. But I allow Big Hook to have his say. I think it's good for other people to be able to have their say. I'm glad to allow my platform to have other people have their say, even if I disagree with them. And sometimes when I disagree with them, I allow people to have enough say so I can make a good cogent point and a rebuttal to whatever it is that they are saying. But my point is that you've made an assertion that I don't allow conservatives to have their say, to be able to say what they want to say on this show. And I've actually stopped this show and stopped talking about whatever it is that I wanted to talk about to make this point to you. To make the point to you that I will allow conservatives to call in. I welcome conservatives to call in. I don't even have a policy like my dude does, like Tommy does, over on News Dude here on YouTube and also on TikTok or whatever. I don't even have a policy of, if you tip me enough, I will hang up on you. I don't have that policy. Because while I do like to make money with the show, I'm not necessarily going to yeet somebody based on how much money I get from other people trying to convince me to yeet them. Now, I have yeeted people for other reasons. I've hung up on people for other reasons. I've banned people from the show for other reasons. The only reason I can think right now, the only one maybe potentially valid reason that, David, you might not want to call in, is if you're not really David and if you're somebody who's been banned from the show already. And that will expose you as the person that, as that real person. I'm not saying that you are, but I could see it. I could see that might be a reason why you don't want to call. But hey. Jolie goes, I've been at my parents all week, have yet to make it through a dinner without a political argument. That's the one thing, though, that I'm so glad about my family. Like, I'm seeing my dad and stepmom, in a few weeks, a couple weeks. So you'll have a week where Liberal Dan Radio is limited. If anything, I might not have a show for 3 episodes. But yeah, I like to be able to go home, like when we did go back for Thanksgiving, and I probably will try, if I don't go back this year, I probably will try and go back next year to see my family up there. And yeah, it's nice to be able to have a nice conversation with people who all agree with you. It's not to say that I don't always want an echo chamber. I do like to hear from the other side. I do like to understand what the other side have to say, but it's also nice to be able to sit down and have a family meal without having to worry about not saying the wrong things. So Jolie goes, it's all good. I love arguing with my dad. That's fine. I mean, if you'll enjoy it, then great. So Tim says, I'm going to hold my breath until David calls in. Please don't, Tim. You are a valued listener of Liberal Dan Radio. Talk from the left, that's right, and I would hate to lose you. Big Hook says, just remember that free speech includes accountability. If you live by knowing your beliefs are not held by everyone else and can live with the results of others knowing, it requires bravery. I don't know if bravery requires that, but yeah, free speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences of that speech. Free speech doesn't mean freedom of criticism of that speech. And free speech also doesn't mean that people have to allow you to have access to their airwaves or whatever you want to call this. Like, I could just say no conservative callers and hang up on you and would absolutely tell you that that's not a violation of your right to free speech. Your right to free speech would include your ability to create your own talk show, your own podcast, your own live streaming event or whatever, and to say whatever it is that you want to say and attract an audience that will come listen to you as well. But I'm still willing to have people who I disagree with call in, because I think when other people listen and understand each other and have a better understanding of each other, then it makes the world a better place. We don't have to agree on everything. Trucker John, I think it's pretty safe to assume that David is just full of shit and has no intention of ever calling in. It's Trucker John. Good to see you, Trucker John. I'm still giving it one more minute, John. I can waste... actually, no, I've been recording this now for 12 minutes now. So did I do the math wrong? I've been doing math wrong for like the last day. Like, I went to go, I dropped my wife and kids off at a movie because I had work to do. Came back home, had them tell me when the credits ended, or not when the credits ended, when the previews ended, so that I could know, based on the movie length, when I should be right at the movie theaters to be able to be there and pick them up. Was I there when they were out waiting for me? Nope. I completely screwed up that math. And I'm the math guy of the house. And I completely screwed that up. David, I'm not calling in so you can cut me off. But look, for 10 minutes now, I've given you the opportunity to call in. So don't say that I don't allow conservatives to have their say. And again, the only reason the mods will cut you off is if you get repetitive about the BS that you put in the chat. Now, look, repetitive BS is going to help the algorithm, so they're probably going to still give you a lot of leeway when it comes to, what you're saying. But don't ever say again that I won't allow opposing viewpoints on this channel. Because I will, and I have, and I do. Because for the last, 13 minutes now that this video is long, you've had an open invitation to call in, and you haven't taken the opportunity. So you have the opportunity to try and prove me wrong. You won't. So, as Herr Donald would say,
it is what it is.
Thank you, Donald. Anyway.